It's the world's biggest heist. $1.5 billion stolen, essentially with the click of a button. It is likely North Korea was behind it, but now this former Australian fighter pilot has some serious questions to answer. Here again is Ashley Mullaney.
I love this.
What was the inspiration for this purchase?
Look, I've been in crypto for 8 years, so took a bunch of liquidity off the table. And I immediately thought, well, what should I buy with this money? What's going to give me the greatest enjoyment? And it was most obviously a helicopter.
His rego reads Bravo Tango Charlie. That's BTC, or Bitcoin for the uninitiated. The ACH 130 is a beast of a machine, one of only a handful of Aston Martin choppers in the world, worth $5 million.
And so Bitcoin paid for this?
Bitcoin paid for this.
Former RAAF fighter pilot JP Thor bought it to fly around the world, from glaciers to Kakadu.
I'm sure it never gets old for you, right?
I love it. Absolutely love it.
At 36, JP Thor has gone from a Darwin boy to decorated fighter pilot and now crypto entrepreneur. Bitcoins made him filthy rich. JP and a fortunate few backed crypto early. Now governments are playing catch-up.
Last year, I promised to make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world and the crypto capital of the planet.
Bitcoin is one of many digital currencies. It's decentralized, meaning no single bank or government controls it. You can send it anywhere in the world without using traditional financial systems, but it's volatile. When it launched in 2008, a Bitcoin was worth less than $1. Today, one virtual coin is worth more than $160,000.
Towards the end of my military career is when someone smart who said to me, if you want to make money, you got to work with money. That's when I discovered Bitcoin in 2013, and it was about $100 at the time. And then I bought some, and I remember emailing my family. I said, this looks like a game changer. My perspective was that this was a truly digital money and it was going to change everything. Everyone would eventually adopt it.
How much have you made in crypto?
The numbers are extremely volatile, but also crazy. I've had wallets with over $1 billion of paper value, but that's pretty characteristic of a founder who builds in crypto. The numbers are staggering sometimes.
When you look back in hindsight, do you think you were the right fit for life in the military?
Absolutely not. The military requires you to do exactly what is needed. So that mismatch, after I'd done 10 years in long service leave, I realized I was incompatible with the military and I had to leave.
He went from the regimented...
What do you hope to achieve in the Air Force?
...to the unregulated, diving into cryptocurrency and building one of the biggest decentralized crypto platforms in the world.
It's time to rethink digital asset exchanges, and Thor Chain is the solution.
A platform that allows users all over the world to swap digital currencies from one to another for a fee. A bit like changing English pounds to US dollars. Except here, no questions are asked about where the currencies come from.
It's done 100 billion in swaps. It tries to be a network that allows anyone to swap wherever they are. And that came to its head about 2 months ago, when allegedly over $1.5 billion had been stolen by a North Korean hacking group off a large exchange. And a large amount of it was starting to go over Thor Chain. And everyone was asking them to censor and shut it down.
Thor Chain was about to be used in the biggest heist in history. It was 10 o'clock on a Friday night here in Singapore,
And staff at one of the world's biggest crypto exchanges are heading into the weekend. Their CEO has just signed off on a routine transfer, but what he didn't realise is he's just been duped by North Korea. One of the most sophisticated hacking groups in the world is now moments away from their biggest payday yet.
I mean, it's by far the largest theft that the North Koreans had ever done.
How were you confident that it was North Korea?
Don't want to give away trade secrets, but there are technical indicators that we can look into to figure out, who's behind something like this, and this one pointed to North Korea really directly.
For decades, Nick Carlson was the FBI's go-to agent on North Korea and cryptocurrency. But nothing could have prepared him for a theft of this magnitude.
When you realised just how much money they'd taken, what was your reaction?
It's a sinking feeling, I guess. I mean, this theft in one, instant more than doubled what they stole last year.
$1.5 billion gone in seconds.
The sheer amount is just insane.
What is going through your mind on that evening?
To be honest, in that moment or that day, I didn't really have time to think.
Ben Zhu is the boss of Bybit, the crypto exchange targeted in the late-night raid. Responsible for the funds of 70 million users, he fronted the cameras within hours.
Hello, everyone. This is Ben from Bybit. Are we live? We all good? About 2 hours ago, Bybit experienced a hack. So I got a call around 11 p.m. That nobody was at the office. I felt it's an unusual call because it was, I did a transaction about 30 minutes before that, and now I have a call. And the call, I had my head of finance and my security team. And the moment you get a call with your security and your finance, you know something is not right. And that's when they told me, but I can see that they were very nervous. My head of finance voice was very shaky. He said, Ben, something happened, it's bad. And the transaction we signed, I think, was only a few $1 million. So I assumed that amount was gone. So I said, okay, the amount was gone. He said, no, everything is gone. I mean, what do you mean everything? He said, everything in that wallet, which is about $1.5 billion.
Is there anything to even compare this to?
No, nothing can compare you to losing $1.5 billion.
Has the industry ever seen a heist of this scale before?
If you talk about scale, it's the largest scale in the history. Hopefully, we can remain that. I don't want any other victim to suffer the same experience that we had.
Largest cryptocurrency theft in history.
What would be the largest? In the largest crypto
Be the largest theft of its kind.
What was your reaction when you learnt that it was North Korea behind the hack?
I kind of knew immediately when it happened because they were the most sophisticated and well-known hacker in the industry.
North Korea's fingerprints were all over the scene of the crime, and within days, the FBI confirmed their state-sponsored cyber army was behind the attack. Investigators couldn't have been clearer in their message to businesses: do not help them move the money.
So we saw the money get stolen. It then got split up into a number of different cryptocurrency wallet addresses. And then what we saw is them testing the waters on different services to try and find a route that it can go through unimpeded.
Dubai-based crypto intelligence specialist Nick Smart says the North Korean thieves had to find an online pathway to turn their haul of Ethereum into Bitcoin, which can be swapped more easily for real-world cash.
It's almost like a chase, but they're constantly trying like new pathways to see which ones get picked up and which ones don't. Those kind of paths got blocked very, very quickly. Lots of people got involved and started saying, okay, well, let's block these addresses, let's block those services. If we see money coming from here, let's interrupt it because we know it belongs to them.
Within minutes, the thieves found the open pathway they were looking for. Almost all of the total heist flowed through the platform JP founded, Thor Chain. And despite North Korea being one of the most sanctioned countries on Earth, Thor Chain let them through.
When the hack took place, the FBI put out a notice urging exchanges not to process the transaction for Lazarus. Is it fair game or is it money laundering?
No, it is money laundering. If you know that amount is to do with a sanctioned entity and you are facilitating that, again, profit from it, you are participating in an illegal activity. You can choose not get involved, but you got profit from it. Then you are part of it. I think my biggest issue is they have choose not to do anything.
Thor Chain has stood out for a long time as a vehicle of choice for criminals in the crypto community as a way to move money. So it's not surprising at all that the North Koreans continued to use it.
So do you think JP Thor has a target on his back?
I wouldn't want to be him.
It's like saying everyone can use the roads except for the criminals. But the criminals would like to beg to disagree with you. And we view these networks as monetary transmission networks that are open and can be used by anyone. And the moment you start saying these are good people, these are bad people, then you apply a subjective layer. Another way to explain it is that according to North Korea, they didn't do anything wrong. But according to everyone who's not North Korea, they did do something wrong. So, well, who do you agree with? Do you agree with the North Koreans or do you agree with the United States?
How much did Thor Chain make off that transaction, the Bybit transaction?
You could say between $5 to $10 million.
Did you receive any of those fees?
So not directly, no.
So if North Korea tries to do this again, would you be in favor of Thor Chain allowing the swap?
I once again, don't care who uses these protocols. Anyone should be able to access the tools that are available to them.
Coming up, waging war on North Korea.
Did you ever imagine that one day you'd be going to war with North Korea?
No, never.
And the big reward to find the funds.
Was really to kind of show who are the good players, who are the bad players, and where the money went.
North Korea was responsible for the biggest money heist in the world. $1.5 billion worth of cryptocurrency stolen in seconds from online exchange Bybit. A state-sponsored cyber theft on an unprecedented scale.
North Korea is going to steal as much as they can steal for as long as they can steal it, because there is no incentive to stop.
Nick Carlson has been an expert on North Korea throughout his military career and at the FBI.
You know, it's been centuries since we had a pirate state, right? A country that's out there looting and pillaging wherever they can. And that's essentially what North Korea has become in this digital space.
Of the 26 million people who live in the hermit state, nearly half live in poverty.
How would you describe Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, Kim Jong-un, probably one of the most despicable people on the face of the earth. He lives atop the corpses of his slaves, basically. And it's disgusting that his regime still exists.
North Korea's under heavy sanctions because of its nuclear weapons program. Those international sanctions have choked off most of its revenue.
And how important is cryptocurrency as a revenue stream now for North Korea? I mean, is this how they are funding their weapons program?
Yeah, it's either the most or the second most important next to weapons exports to Russia. It is a huge key source of money for the regime. It honestly is probably the key finance source sustaining the North Korean government right now. These thefts, they're basically a modern pirate state. They're just taking and stealing whatever they can, wherever they can, to keep building those weapon systems and keep being able to sustain their threats against the rest of the world.
The FBI says the Lazarus Group was responsible for the heist. It's regarded as the most dangerous cyber criminal gang in the world, who've been deployed by North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un to exploit what's seen as an easy way to finance his nuclear weapons program.
And what can you tell us about the Lazarus Group and what you know about the group?
Yeah, so it's relatively small, but they're professionals. This is what they do every day. They're out there hunting big game, is what we call it, and they're just constantly trying to figure out new ways, new victims, new ways to compromise them. This is their life. This is what they do.
When the Lazarus Group found a weakness in Bybit's security, they pounced, and Thor Chain, the online exchange founded by Australian JP Thor, was used as part of their plan.
And so North Korea's carried out the biggest bank robbery in history. Was Thor Chain their getaway car waiting for them?
We view Thor Chain as more the road. If a criminal jumps in a car and drives down Main Street, you're not going to levy charges against the road builder. Thor Chain is just a road to use, right? And there shouldn't be any expectation for the road to censor who can drive on it.
By his own admission, former RAAF fighter pilot JP Thor's never been a fan of rules. To him, the decentralised world of cryptocurrency is a free-for-all. He makes no judgment on who the players are or what they've done.
So are you saying that you believe that North Korea has the right to use its hackers to steal cryptocurrency?
They have the right to be sovereign. And if they exploit security loopholes and win or earn, are able to move crypto through those security loopholes, that is their efforts, right? We instead should build better security and better safeguards, but they're not inherently doing anything wrong, in my opinion.
Can you see how people might take issue with your position as someone who used to serve this country and that perhaps this platform has aided North Korea in getting that money back to Pyongyang? Can you see why you face some criticism here?
So North Korea is a heavily sanctioned country, but they have 20 million mouths to feed, and they should and deserve to be sovereign. They might actually need that 1.5 billion in order to feed their population, right? Maybe they're just buying food, China.
Or maybe they're buying nuclear weapons.
To preserve the sovereignty. There are so many countries around the world that have nuclear weapons. India, Pakistan, Iran, all trying. UK, US. What's wrong with North Korea having nuclear weapons?
JP Thor has said that North Korea has a right to defend its sovereignty. They have a right to have nuclear weapons.
I would invite Mr. Thor to go and live in North Korea and experience what that's like to be a North Korean living there. I don't think it's an experience he would enjoy. He may be right that they have a right to exist and maintain their sovereignty, but that doesn't give them a right to go out and steal money from innocent victims all around the world, which is what they're doing.
They're pickpocketing accounts around the world. Lazarus could strike anywhere, anytime.
We're not fighting against a simple organization. We're fighting a state-owned organization that potentially could be hundreds and thousands of people. And at the same time, we know they are sophisticated enough, they're patient enough to play the game with you on the fund tracing, on the laundering. it's going to be very difficult to get the money back, and it's going to be very hard to trace. We need to be prepared for war, basically.
When you went into business, Ben, did you ever imagine that one day you'd be going to war with North Korea?
No, never. It's completely a random occurred event.
Despite his good humour, Ben Zhu is deadly serious about getting his stolen money back. His company covered the $1.5 billion in stolen currency.
Clients asking, does Bybit really have the money to cover the client the loss? Yes.
If we didn't cover it, the impact would be so massive. I mean, we have 70 million users globally. But we're still trying to trace the money. We're pushing hard, but at least no customer was affected. Yeah.
Because Bybit covered the loss, JP Thor sees the heist as a victimless crime.
So there's no real victim here in that sense, because the exchange made the users whole, right?
Well, absolutely wrong. There are a lot of victims. Bybit being the victim. If Bybit didn't cover this amount, the whole industry would probably tank. And if Bybit tanked, the whole industry, we will see a Bitcoin crash. We will see the industry at least suffer a huge impact from this incident. The sanction money can be used for many things in the future that create more victims. We're talking about nuclear program. We're talking about anything that's illegal to do with the sanctioned countries. And why are they sanctioned? Because there might be a victim out of it. So I don't agree with this statement at all. Yeah.
Up next, the $140 million up for grabs.
We do our best to claw back the money that's been stolen, but that's kind of like trying to put helium back in a balloon after it's popped.
Ben Zhu, the boss of Bybit, launched the Lazarus bounty, an international digital hunt just days after the $1.5 billion theft from his cryptocurrency exchange. Successful bounty hunters will be rewarded with 10% of any recovered funds, a potential payday of $140 million. What is the thinking behind setting up this world-first bounty program?
The beauty of blockchain is everything is transparent, and we can actually be able to trace. So then we launched this bounty program was really to kind of show who are the good players, who are the bad players, and where the money went in one single place.
Crypto technology allows the stolen funds to be traced to a point, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will ever be recovered. So Bybit has waged war on Lazarus, and they've put out this bounty to recover any of the money. What would be your message to Bybit or to Ben Zhu?
Look, it's extremely unfortunate it's happened. It's happened many times the last decade. And even Thor Chain itself has gone through its own. It lost 16 million in 2021. This is difficult. No one's going to come out and save you.
We do our best to claw back the money that's been stolen, but that's kind of like trying to put helium back in a balloon after it's popped. It's really difficult. While tens of millions of the Bybit money have been clawed back, that's not anywhere near to what was stolen. So yeah, I think folks need to go on offense. North Korea's crypto thieves, they need to feel like they're being hunted.
But to be a bounty hunter, navigating your way around the labyrinth of the blockchain is essential. And with the speed and secrecy of transactions, law enforcement has even less chance of catching up with the thieves.
I think one of the biggest things that this technology has exposed is speed. One of the things we know about cryptocurrency is it's pretty fast. The justice system isn't fast enough to keep up with that.
The next challenge for the Lazarus Group is to turn their stolen crypto into cash, another point at which they could be caught.
Go get that cash, go bring it back, go bring it back.
They need to turn that into, traditional currency. Because you can't go and buy the stuff that North Korea needs to buy, which is petroleum and missile components and gyroscopes. You can't buy that with crypto. So their challenge is to take what they've stolen and turn it into normal, convertible fiat currencies. And to do that, they have to launder it. They have to move it across many blockchains. They have to find brokers who will buy it and trade it and try to conceal its illicit origins.
While the crypto sleuths continue to hunt for the money, most of which passed through Thor Chain, JP Thor himself is still flying the friendly skies in what he calls his freedom machine.
When I got back to Australia, I've done a few trips. I got my signwriter to put a whole bunch of flags on the both sides of the tail.
Okay, I mean, these flags tell a pretty interesting story, and right at the end here, there's a flag for North Korea.
This is a mistake that none of us picked up. I did ask for the Norfolk Island flag, but the signwriter printed me the North Korean flag, which is tongue-in-cheek, a bit coincidental for other things that may have transpired.
Have you been to North Korea?
No, never been. I have been to South Korea and I've been to Japan, but no, North Korea is off limits for now.
Whether intentional or a mistake, it's raised eyebrows about the former fighter pilot turned crypto king.
There's someone who has signed up to defend the country and now has a North Korean flag on the side of his chopper. What do you think of his actions?
It's disappointing, I guess. You would hope that his own experience would inform, why he served and the things that countries like Australia stand for and that a country like North Korea basically stands in total opposition to. I don't know how he feels good about what he's doing.
Point at his hand. We all understand that crypto is high risk, high rewards. It's emerging technology. I have a very strong opposition. There's no crying in the casino. If you don't like it, just build a better system.
That's all for tonight. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. The handles are on the screen. I'm Michael Usher. Thanks so much for your company. We'll see you next time on Spotlight.